Okay, so I started the last show, the last hour, by talking about savagisms from the history of the savage nation going back 21 years. I am a national treasure. If I were not who I am, I'd be celebrated all over the country. There'd be statues to me if the country was run by patriots instead of being run by the opposition to patriotism, the opposition to borders, language, and culture. So I read the graffiti called bloggers, and I start to see my own statements being repeated without any alliteration to me, such as when the chrome was thick and the women were straight, without saying Michael Savage created it. I said, that's good. I'm entering the American mind. So I said, wait a minute, why don't I get the glossary of savagisms going back over the years and ask the audience in the new Obama era of fascism, communism, socialism, and the big lie, where everything that is a lie is held up as the truth and all the truth is held up as lies. Why don't you go back from some of your Savage Speak glossary of savagisms and ask the audience which one of these phrases should be dropped from my glossary as politically offensive in some way. So let me go back to my glossary. Baggy-eyed Bolshevik, I call Jim Lehrer that. That's when he was once a moderator. Remember Baggy-eyed Bolshevik? That's what he always has been. Briefcase mafia, trial lawyers. Bypassed Bolsheviks and Buicks would be retired, retreated leftists known to haunt Palm Beach County, Florida. Caesars of Hollywood, actors and actresses who move among us as if they were gods. Christophobia, the loathing and hatred of Christianity by bigoted, intolerant, secular leftists. Clipped hair, mean-faced women. That defines what? Self-evident. Compassionate conservative, Michael Savage. Condo commies, wealthy socialists. Corned beef commies, unhealthy, wealthy socialists. Crack pants, pants worn by skinny middle-class kids who emulate gangbangers. Crescent News Network, CNN. The Tsarina of Education, the clipped hair, mean-faced women who dominate the National Miseducation Association and control it with a jackboot. Demokins, Republicans who act like Democrats. That would be all of them. Demon cats are a euphemistic term for godless Democrats. The Dodge City of Talk Radio, the Savage Nation. Dungism, I can't say what that is. Well, no, Dungism, a school of liberal art. That's right, that still holds true. Empty skirt, a pancake-faced teleprompter reading leg crosser on Fox News. EPA, Environmental Propaganda Agency. From the Boulder Dam to dental dams. From Boulder Dam to dental dams in one generation. And the definition is from historic feats of engineering to corrupted acts of fellatio. This is funny. I got to tell you, I'm enjoying it. You know, the only way to test whether your writing is still good is to read it yourself cold and see if it still makes you laugh. That's funny. Okay. From kid gloves, some of this is maybe borderline. I don't know if I can even read this on the air. From kid gloves to latex gloves. From kid gloves to latex gloves in one generation. I cannot read the definition. From St. Christopher's medals to crystals in one generation. That's going from traditional faith to New Age cosmic flakes. The Grim Reefer Gang, advocates for medical marijuana. The government media complex, unholy alliance between big government and media elites. Head cutters and headscarves. Evangelists who spread the religion of peace by cutting people to pieces. Hieroglyphics set to a beat, rap. Reverend Jesse I. Jackson, the pastor of the First Rainbow Church of Shakedowns. Hitler in a dirty nightshirt. Osama bin Laden, he's dead. Hollywood idiots, mindless thespians from the land of make-believe. Houses of porn and scorn, today's liberal colleges. Illiberal, what liberal used to mean. Infidels, the savage listening audience. Institute of Lower Living, colleges where junior sheeple can get the finest illiberal education that taxpayer money can buy. Islamofascists, dirty nightshirt-clad radical Muslims who walk with the Quran in one hand and a bloody rusty knife in the other. Knee-jerk conservatives, reflexive right-wingers who never ask why when conservative leaders say drink the Kool-Aid. Lexus liberals, Kerry brand liberals who despise the nation that made their wealth. That's good. Lunchroom Lenins, found mainly in southern Florida at early bird buffets. Madeline Halfbright, former Secretary of Hate under Bill Clinton, who in my day would have run a deli on the Lower East Side of Manhattan. Mayor Any Newsom, ex-San Francisco Mayor Gavin Newsom, who violated California state law by issuing thousands of gay marriage licenses. Well, today he's a demigod. He was ahead of his time. Mind sluts, news chicks who prostitute their ethics to espouse the party line. Mushroom boys, L.A. screenwriters. Ninth jerk at court of schlemiels. Can't say it without it. Nostrilman, Henry Waxman. Remember him? The guy with the big nostrils? Old York Times, the once great lady deflowered by Pinchy Sulzberger's juvenile worldview. PBS, Palestine Broadcasting System. Pinchy Sulzberger, the left-leaning czar of the Old York Times and son of Arthur H. Sulzberger. Pot in every chicken, legalization of marijuana. Psychological nudity, exposing the savage truth. Rat Boy, John Walker Lynn, the so-called American Taliban who stabbed America in the back. He's still in the can, by the way. Republicrats, turncoat Republicans, John McCain and other left-leaning anti-conservatives. I wrote these in 2000, by the way. Here's a good one. Many of you remember this. If you remember this, will you raise your left hand? Red diaper dopa babies, RDDBs, psychotic 60s leftovers who mix too much Marx with their marijuana. Savagettes, the babes of the savage nation, of which there are 12. Sheeple, the unthinking gullible masses. Shiocracy, the reigning rule of radical feminism that emasculated America's men. Socialism, organized crime with an army. Spawning like shrimp. See, now this is a bad one. This could get me into a state of Donald Trump. Spawning like shrimp. I can't mention what the definition is. Stand-up Stalins. Those would be anti-American comedians such as Bill Maher, a big phony through and through, a man who doesn't have a piece of red blood in his body. The stench from the bench is making me clench. That's the odorous rule of liberal judges. The Supremes. That's the U.S. Supreme Court justices. TNN. Taliban News Network, also known as CNN, trickle-down immorality, as perfected by Bill Clinton, the course material in the majority of America's public schools. And finally, Yentertainers, gossipy, meddlesome, clueless female performers a la Barbara Streisand or Barbara Boxer. Now let's have some music on the Savage Nation. How can you do the same thing every day? Ever get the same thing? You want me to talk about the Confederate flag? Hey, Mike, talk about the Confederate flag. Hey, Mike, be like those other talk show hosts. Talk about the... Come on, man. You heard it already today that you're going to hear all day long from the copycat yentas who follow him. What do you want from me? He writes the script and they read the tune the rest of the day. I write my own script. That's all. It's original. If you want to comment on any of this, 855-407-282, lighten up. Lighten up, because only an act of God can save us from Barack Obama. There's no opposition party, no opposition press. The people have been nullified. And so here we are. We're sitting here in a petty dictatorship that's going to metastasize into something much worse, Teddy. I can guarantee you. Poodles may be outlawed before I know it. And then what are you going to do? I'll have to hide you. You'll have to become a Murano poodle hidden in the basement of the house. I'll have to hide you and turn you into something else. Yes, we have entered the new dark ages of the United States of America under this liberated philosopher called Barack Obama. If you care to comment on my Savagisms by adding or subtracting any from that list, the phone number is 855-407-282. Now, I could make it easier for you and do a regular talk show and say, Mayor de Blasio signs an act which says it's illegal for an employer to ask for criminal records. I could ask you how you feel about that. How does it make you feel that a convict could be driving your kids to school? What will happen when de Blasio turns New York into the next Ferguson or Baltimore? What do you fear is on Obama's progressive agenda for the rest of his term? Now, why do I ask that question? Because I'm about to play Mr. Obama's statement that he's going to squeeze. Well, listen to clip number 1 and you'll get the picture.
How am I going to spend whatever political capital that I've built up? You know, the list is long, and my instructions to my team and my instructions to myself have always been that we are going to squeeze every last ounce of progress that we can make as long as I have the privilege of holding this office.
It's not a privilege. It's a shame what you've done to this office. You have debased the White House. You have deflowered our liberties. I can go down the list, but then I'll blow my mood, and I don't want to do it. Do you see how evil this man is? No matter what he gets, he wants more. This is the mark of a Marxist. There's no enough for them. There's not enough progress. The definition of progress will only be determined when you are in chains, When you, the taxpayer, are actually in chains working for the illegal immigrant, then they will have enough progress. Do you understand where this goes? Do you understand the sickness of the progressive? Do you understand why they have to be stopped? And do you understand why there's no stopping him and that only an act of God can stop this man? I'll be right back.